This is the BBC.
This podcast is supported by advertising outside the UK.
BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
Welcome to the Shakespeare Sessions, the podcast all about our love of the bard. This is where you'll find groundbreaking performances of Shakespeare's greatest plays, alongside discussion and documentaries that push the conversation further. And now, The Two Noble Kinsmen, widely known as Shakespeare's last play, starring Lindsay Marshall, Kate Phillips and Blake Ritson.
The Two Noble Kinsmen by William Shakespeare and John Fletcher. Adapted for radio by Sarah Davis.
Roses, their sharp spines being gone, not royal in their smells alone, but in their hue. Maiden pinks of odor faint, daisies smellless yet most quaint, sweet time true. Primrose, firstborn child of air, merry springtime's harbinger, with harebells dim, hawks' lips in their cradles growing, marigolds on deathbeds blowing, lark's heels trim. Old in nature's children sweet, lie for bride and bridegroom's feet, blessing their sense. Not an angel of the air, but melodious or bird fair, his absent hands. The crow, the slanderous cuckoo, nor the boding raven, nor chaff-hawk, nor chattering pipe may on a bright house perch or sing, or with their merry discord ring from it fly.
For pity's sake, and true gentilities, hear and respect me, noble Theseus.
Your mother's sake on it, Hippolyta. And as you wish your womb may thrive with fair ones, hear and respect me.
Fair Emilia, now for the love of him whom Jove hath marked the honour of your bed, and for the sake of clear virginity, be advocate for us and our distresses.
Sad ladies, rise.
Stand up.
No knees to me.
What's your request?
We are three queens whose sovereigns fell before the wrath of cruel Creon, who endure the beaks of ravens, talons of the kites, and pecks of crows in the foul fields of Thebes. He will not suffer us to burn their bones, to earn their ashes, but infects the winds with stench of our slain lords. O pity, Duke, thou purger of the earth, draw thy feared sword that does good turns to the world. Give us the bones of our dead kings that we may chapel them. And of thy boundless goodness take some note that for our crowned heads we have no roof, save this, which is the lions and the bears and vault to everything.
I have heard the fortunes of your dead lords, which gives me such lamenting as wakes my vengeance and revenge for him.
Most dreaded Amazonian soldieress, that equally canst poise sternness with pity, tell him, if he, the blood-sized field lay swollen, showing the sun his teeth, grinning at the moon, what you would do.
Poor lady, say no more.
My lord is ta'en heart deep with your distress. Let him consider.
Think, Duke, what beds our slain kings have.
What griefs our beds that our dear lords have none.
It is true. And I will give you comfort. To give your dead lords graves. The which to do must make some work with Creon.
And that work presents itself to the doing.
Now you may take him drunk with the victory.
And all his army full of bread and sloth.
I will send forth and levy for this enterprise our worthiest instruments, whilst we dispatch this grand act of our life, this daring deed of fate in wedlock.
Oh, the more proclaiming, our suit shall be neglected when her arms by warranting moonlight corslet thee. Oh, when her twinning cherries shall their sweetness fall upon thy tasteful lips, what wilt thou think of rotten kings or blubbered queens?
Why, good ladies, this is a service whereto I am going greater than any war.
Dear sir, prorogue this business, and hang your shield afore your heart, about that neck, which is my fee, and which I freely lend to do these poor queens service.
If you grant not my sister her petition, in that force with that celerity and nature which she makes it in, from henceforth I'll not dare to ask you anything, nor be so hardy ever to take a husband.
Pray, stand up. I am entreating of myself to do that which you kneel to have me. Pirithous, lead on the bride. Get you and pray the gods for success and return. Omit not anything in the pretended celebration. Queens, follow your soldier. Theseus! Hence you, and at the banks of Aulis meet us with the forces you can raise.
Sir, yes, sir.
Hippolyta, since that our theme is haste, I stamp this kiss upon thy current lip. Sweet, keep it as my token. Now, farewell.
Dear Palamon, dearer in love than blood, and our prime cousin, yet unhardened in the crimes of nature, let us leave the city Thebes and the temptings in't, before we further sully our gloss of youth. For to follow the common stream, 'twould bring us to an eddy where we should turn or drown.
What strange ruins, since first we went to school, may we perceive walking in Thebes? Who then shall offer to Mars so scorned altar? I do bleed when such I meet, and wish great Juno would resume her ancient fit of jealousy to get the soldier work, that peace might purge for her repletion and retain anew her charitable heart, now hard and harsher than war could be. That which rips my bosom to the heart.
Our uncle Creon.
He, a most unbounded tyrant, whose successes make heaven unfeared and villainy assured, beyond its power there's nothing. Almost puts faith in a fever. One that fears not to do harm, to do good, dares not. I think the echoes of his shames have deafened the ears of heavenly justice.
Let's leave his court, that we may nothing share of his loud infamy. Valerius!
The king calls for you, yet be leaden-footed till his great rage be off him.
Small winds shake him. What's the matter?
Theseus, who where he threats appalls, hath sent deadly defiance to him, and pronounces ruin to Thebes. He is at hand to seal the promise of his wrath.
Let him approach. But that we fear the gods in him, he brings not a jot of terror to us.
Our services stand now for Thebes, not Creon. Yet to be neutral to him were dishonor, rebellious to oppose. Therefore, we must with him stand to the mercy of our fate.
Is't said this war's afoot, or it shall be on fail of some condition?
'Tis in motion. The intelligence of state came in the instant with the defier.
Let's to the king, who were he a quarter carrier of that honour which his enemy come in. The blood we venture should be as for our health, which were not spent, rather laid out for purchase.
Pirithous, farewell. Repeat my wishes to our great lord. Speed to him.
Though I know his ocean needs not my poor drops, yet they must yield their tribute there. My precious maid Emilia, those best affections that the heavens infuse in their best-tempered pieces keep enthroned in your dear heart.
Thanks, sir. Remember me to our all-royal brother. Our hearts are in his army, in his tent.
In his bosom. We have been soldiers, and we cannot weep when our friends don their helms, or put to sea, or tell of babes broached on the lance, or women that sod their infants in the brine they wept at killing them.
Peace be to you, as I pursue this war, which shall be then beyond further requiring.
How his longing follows his friend. Have you much observed him since our great lord departed?
With labour, and I did love him for it. They too have cabined in many as dangerous as poor a corner, peril and want contending. They have skipped torrents, whose roaring tyranny and power i' the least of these was dreadful, and they have sought out together where death's self was lodged, yet fate hath brought them off. They're not of love, tied, weaved, entangled with so true, so long, and with a finger of so deep a cunning, may be outworn, but never undone. I think Theseus cannot be umpire to himself, cleaving his conscience in twain and doing each side like justice, which he loves best.
Doubtless there is a best, and reason has no manners to say it is not you. I was acquainted once with a time when I enjoyed a playfellow. You were at wars when she, the grave enriched, who made too proud the bed, took leave o' the moon, which then looked pale at parting when our count was each 11.
'Twas Flavinia.
Yes. You talk of Pirithous and Theseus's love. Theirs has more ground, is more maturely seasoned, more buckled with strong judgment, and there needs the one or the other may be said to water their entangled roots of love. But I and she I sigh and spoke of were things innocent. Loved for we did, and like the elements that know not what nor why, yet do affect rare issues by their operance, our souls did so to one another. What she liked was then of me approved, what not condemned, no more arraignment. The flower that I would pluck and put between my breasts, then but beginning to swell about the bosom, oh, she would long till she had such another, and commit it to the like innocent cradle where, phoenix-like, they died in perfume. On my head no toy but was her pattern. Her affections pretty, though haply her careless wear I followed for my most serious decking. Had mine ear stolen some new air, or at adventure hummed one from musical coinage, why it was a note whereon her spirits would sojourn, rather dwell on and sing it in her slumbers. This rehearsal, which fury innocent what's well comes in, like old importment's bastard, has this end, that the true love tween maid and maid may be more than in sextividual.
You're out of breath. And this high-speeded pace is but to say that you shall never, like the maid Flavinia, love any that's called man.
I am sure I shall not.
Now, alack, weak sister, I must no more believe thee in this point. Though in't I know thou dost believe thyself, then I will trust a sickly appetite that loathes even as it longs. But sure, my sister, if I were ripe for your persuasion, you have said enough to shake me from the arm of the all-noble Theseus, for whose fortunes I will now in and kneel, with great assurance that we, more than his Pirithous, possess the high throne in his heart.
I am not against your faith, yet I continue mine.
To thee no star be dark.
Both heaven and earth friend Theseus forever.
All good that may be wished upon thy head, I cry amen to it.
The impartial gods, who from the mounted heavens view us their mortal herd, behold who err and in their time chastise. Go, find out the bones of your dead lords, and honor them with treble ceremony. So adieu. And heaven's good eyes look on you.
What are those?
Men of great quality, as may be judged by their appointment. Some of Thebes have told us they are sisters' children, nephews to the king.
By the helm of Mars, I saw them in the war. like to a pair of lions smeared with prey, make lanes and troops aghast. I fixed my note constantly on them, for they were a mark worth a god's view. What names have they?
Arcite and Palamon.
They are not dead?
Nor in a state of life. Had they been taken when their last hurts were given, 'twas possible they might have been recovered. Yet they breathe and have the name of men.
And like men use them. All our surgeons can vent in their behoof. Their lives concern us much more than Thebes is worth. Bear them speedily, from our kind heir to them unkind, and minister what man to man may do for our sake. For our love and great Apollo's mercy, all our best, their best, skill tender. Lead into the city, where having bound things scattered, we will post to Athens for our army.
Alas, the prison I keep, though it be for great ones, yet they seldom come. For one salmon you shall take a number of minnows. I am given out to be better lined than it can appear to me report is a true speaker. And would I were really that I'm delivered to be. Marry, what I have, be it what it will, I will assure upon my daughter at the day of my death.
Sir, I demand no more than your own offer, and I will estate your daughter in what I have promised.
Well, we will talk more of this when the solemnity is past. But you have a full promise of her? Huh? When that shall be seen, I tender my consent.
I have, sir. Oh, here she comes.
Oh, see, daughter, your friend and I have chanced to name you here upon the old business. But no more of that now. So soon as the court hurry is over, we will have an end of it. In the meantime, look tenderly to the two prisoners. I can tell you they are princes.
These strewings are for their chamber. 'Tis pity they are in prison, and 'twere pity they should be out. I do think they have patience to make any adversity ashamed. The prison itself is proud of them, and they have all the world in their chamber.
They are fain to be a pair of absolute men. I heard them reported in the battle to be the only doers.
Yea, most likely, for they are noble sufferers. I marvel how they would have looked had they been victors. It seems to me they have no more sense of their captivity than I of ruling Athens. They eat well, look merrily, discourse of many things, but nothing of their own restraint and disasters. Yet sometimes a divided side, martyred as 'twere in the deliverance, will break from one of them when the other presently gives it so sweet a rebuke that I could wish myself a side to be so chid, or at least a sire to be comforted.
I never saw 'em.
The Duke himself came privately in the night, and so did they. What the reason is, I know not. Oh, look! Yonder they are. That's Arcite looks out.
No, sir, no, that's Palamon. Arcite is the lower of the twain. You may perceive a part of him.
Oh, go to. Leave your pointing. They would not make us their object. Out of their sight.
Oh, it is a holiday to look on them. Lord, the difference of men.
O cousin Arcite, where is Thebes now? Where is our noble country? Where are our friends and kindreds? Never more must we behold those comforts. Never see the hardy youths strive for the games of honour, hung with painted favours of their ladies, like tall ships under sail, then start amongst them, and as an east wind leave them all behind us like lazy clouds, whilst Palamon and Arcite, even in the wagging of a wanton leg, outstripped the people's praises, won the garlands, ere they have time to wish 'em ours. Never shall we two exercise, like twins of honour, our arms again, and feel our fiery horses like proud seas under us. Our good swords now, ravished our sides like age, must run to rust. These hands shall never draw them out like lightning to blast whole armies more.
No, Palamon. Those hopes are prisoners with us. Here we are, and here the graces of our youths must wither like a too timely spring. Here age must find us, and, which is heaviest, Palamon, unmarried. The sweet embraces of a loving wife, loaden with kisses, armed with 1,000 cupids, shall never clasp our necks. No issue know us, no figure of ourselves shall we e'er see to glad our age, and like young eagles teach 'em boldly to gaze against bright arms and say, "Remember what your fathers were, and conquer." The fair-eyed maids shall weep our banishments, and in their songs curse ever-blinded fortune, till she for shame see what a wrong she has done to youth and to nature. This is all our world. We shall know nothing here but one another, hear nothing but the clock that tells our woes.
'Tis too true, Arcite. To our Theban hounds that shook the aged forest with their echoes, no more now must we halloo. No more shake our pointed javelins, whilst the angry swine flies like a Parthian quiver from our rages, struck with our well-steeled darts. All valiant uses, the food and nourishment of noble minds, in us too here, shall perish. We shall die, which is the curse of honour, lastly, children of grief and ignorance.
Yet, cousin, even from the bottom of these miseries, from all that fortune can inflict upon us, I see two comforts rising, two mere blessings, if the gods please. To hold here a brave patience, and the enjoying of our griefs together. Whilst Palamon is with me, let me perish if I think this our prison.
Certainly. 'Tis a main goodness, cousin, that our fortunes were twined together. 'Tis most true. Two souls put in two noble bodies, let them suffer the gall of hazard, so they grow together will never sink. They must not say they could.
Shall we make worthy uses of this place, that all men hate so much?
How, gentle cousin?
Let's think this prison holy sanctuary, to keep us from the corruption of worst men. We are young, and yet desire the ways of honour, that liberty and common conversation, the poison of pure spirits, might like women woo us to wander from. What worthy blessing can be but our imaginations may make it ours? And here being thus together, we are an endless mind to one another. We are one another's wife, ever begetting new births of love. We are father, friends, acquaintance. We are in one another families. I am your heir, and you are mine. This place is our inheritance. No hard oppressor dare take this from us. Here, with a little patience, we shall live long and loving. Were we at liberty, a wife might part us lawfully, or business. Quarrels consume us. I might sicken, cousin, where you should never know it, and so perish without your noble hand to close mine eyes, or prayers to the gods. 1,000 chances were we from hence would sever us.
You have made me, I thank you, cousin Arcite, almost wanton with my captivity. Those pleasures that woo the wills of men to vanity, I see through now, and am sufficient to tell the world 'tis but a gaudy shadow that old time, as he passes by, takes with him. What had we been, old in the court of Creon, where sin is justice, lust and ignorance the virtues of the great ones? Shall I say more?
I would hear you still.
You shall. Is there record of any two that loved better than we do, Arcite?
Sure, there cannot.
I do not think it possible our friendship should ever leave us.
Till our deaths it cannot. And after death, our spirits shall be led to those that love eternally. Speak on, sir.
What flower is this? 'Tis called Narcissus, madam.
That was a fair boy, certain, but a fool to love himself. Were they not made enough?
Pray, forward.
Or were they all hard-hearted?
Yes.
They could not be to one so fair.
Thou wouldst not.
I think I should not, madam.
That's a good wench. But take heed to your kindness, though.
Why, madam?
Men are mad things.
Cousin?
Will you go forward? Canst not thou work such flowers in silk, wench?
Yes.
I'll have a gown full of them. And of these. This is a pretty colour. But not do rarely upon a skirt, wench.
Dainty, madam.
Cousin, how do you, sir? Why, Palamon?
Never. Till now, I was in prison, Arcite.
Why, what's the matter, man?
Behold and wonder. By heaven, she is a goddess. Do reverence. She is a goddess, Arcite.
Of all flowers, methinks a rose is best.
Why, gentle madam?
It is the very emblem of a maid. For when the west wind courts her gently, how modestly she blows and paints the sun with her chaste blushes. When the north comes near her, rude and impatient, then like chastity she locks her beauties in her bud again and leaves him to base briars.
Yet, good madam, sometimes her modesty will blow so far she falls for it. A maid, if she have any honour, would be loath to take example by her.
Thou art wanton.
She is wondrous fair.
She is all the beauty extant.
The sun grows high. Let's walk in. Keep these flowers. We'll see how near art can come near their colours. I am wondrous merry-hearted. I could laugh now.
I could lie down, I'm sure.
And take one with you.
That's as we bargain, madam.
Well,
What think you of this beauty?
'Tis a rare one.
Is but a rare one. Might not a man will lose himself and love her?
I cannot tell what you have done. I have beshrew mine eyes for it. Now I feel my shackles.
You love her, then?
Who would not?
And desire her?
Before my liberty.
I saw her first.
That's nothing.
But it shall be.
I saw her too.
Yes, but you must not love her.
I will not, as you do, to worship her, as she is heavenly and a blessed goddess. I love her as a woman, to enjoy her. So both may love.
You shall not love at all.
Not love at all? Who shall deny that?
I that saw her first, I that took possession first with mine eye of all those beauties in her revealed to mankind. If thou lovest her, or entertainst a hope to blast my wishes, thou art a traitor, Arcite, and a fellow false is thy title to her. Friendship, blood, and all the ties between us I disclaim, if thou once think upon her.
Yes, I love her, and if the lives of all my name lay on it, I must do so. I love her with my soul. If that will lose you, farewell, Palamon. I say again, I love, and in loving her maintain I am as worthy and as free a lover, and have as just a title to her beauty as any Palamon or any living that is a man's son.
Have I called thee friend?
Yes, and have found me so. Why are you moved thus? Let me deal coldly with you. Am not I part of your blood, part of your soul? You have told me that I was Palamon and you were Arcite.
Yes.
Am not I liable to those affections, those joys, griefs, angers, fears my friends shall suffer?
You may be.
Why then would you deal so cunningly, so strangely, so unlike a noble kinsman, to love alone? Speak truly. Do you think me unworthy of her sight?
No, but unjust if thou pursue that sight.
Ha! Because another first sees the enemy, shall I stand still and let mine honour down and never charge?
Yes, if he be but one.
But say that one had rather combat me.
Let that one say so and use thy freedom. Else, if thou pursuest her, be as thou cursed man that hates his country, a branded villain. Ah!
You are mad.
I must be, till thou art worthy. Arcite, it concerns me. And in this madness, if I hazard thee and take thy life, I deal but truly.
Fie, sir! You play the child extremely. I will love her. I must. I ought to do so, and I dare, and all this justly.
Oh, that now thy false self and thy friend had but this fortune, to be 1 hour at liberty and grasp our good swords in our hands, I would quickly teach thee what 'twere to filch affection from another. Thou art baser in it than a cut-purse. Put but thy head out of this window more, and as I have a soul, I'll nail thy life to it.
Thou darest not, fool. Thou canst not. Thou art feeble. Put my head out, I'll throw my body out, and leap the garden when I see her next, and pitch between her arms to anger thee.
No more. The keeper's coming. I shall live to knock thy brains out with my shackles.
Do!
Are you leave, gentlemen?
Now, honest keeper?
Lord Arcite, you must presently to the Duke. The cause, I know not yet.
I am ready, keeper.
Prince Palamon, I must a while bereave you of your fair cousin's company.
Why is he sent for? It may be he shall marry her. He's goodly, and like enough the Duke hath taken notice both of his blood and body. But 'tis falsehood. Why should a friend be treacherous? If that get him a wife so noble and so fair, let honest men ne'er love again. Once more I would but see this fair one. Blessed garden, and fruit and flowers more blessed that still blossom as her bright eyes shine on you. Would I were for all the fortune of my life hereafter yon little tree, yon blooming apricot. How I would spread and fling my wanton arms in at her window. I would bring her fruit, fit for the gods to feed on. Youth and pleasure still, as she tasted, should be doubled on her. And if she be not heavenly, I would make her so near the gods in nature they should fear her. How now, keeper? Where's Arcite?
Banished. Prince Pirithous obtained his liberty, but never more upon his oath and life must he set foot upon this kingdom.
He is a blessed man. He shall see Thebes again, and call to arms the bold young men that when he bids them charge, fall on like fire. Arcite shall have a fortune if he dare make himself a worthy lover, yet in the field to strike a battle for her, and if he lose her then, is a cold coward. How bravely may he bear himself to win her, if he be noble Arcite, 1,000 ways. Were I at liberty, I would do things of such a virtuous greatness that this lady, this blushing virgin, should take manhood to her and seek to ravish me.
Banish the kingdom? 'Tis a mercy I must thank him for. But Palamon, thou hast the start now. Thou shalt stay and see her bright eyes break each morning. Thou shalt feed upon the sweetness of a noble beauty that nature ne'er exceeded, nor ne'er shall. Good gods, what happiness has Palamon! 20 to 1 he'll come to speak to her, and if she be as gentle as she's fair, I know she's his. He has a tongue will tame tempests and make the wild rocks wanton. Come what can come, the worst is death. I will not leave the kingdom. I know mine own is but a heap of ruins, and no redress there. If I go, he has her.
Oh, my lads, I'll be there, that's certain. And I'll be there. Yeah. Well, you boys. Just put it, Chad, in the plough blade today. I'll tickle it down in the jade stills tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure that my wife was jealous as a turkey, but that's all one. I'll go through, let her mumble.
Clap her aboard tomorrow night and stow her and all's made up.
Aye, do but put a fescue in her fist and you shall see her take a new lesson out and be a good wench.
Do we all hold against the man?
But will the dainty do-mine, the school teacher, keep touch, do you think? She does all, you know. She'll eat a hornbook ere she fail. Go to.
Shall we build a stay?
All the boys in Athens blow wind in the breach on us, and here I'll be, and there I'll be, for our town, here again, and there again. Ha, boys, hate for the weavers! We'll see the sports, then every man to his task. And, sweet companions, let's rehearse by any means before the ladies see us. And do sweetly, and God knows what may come on.
If we're lucky. Content. The sport's once ended, we'll perform. Away, boys! And,
By
all leaves, honest friends. Pray you, whither go you?
To the games, my friend.
Are there such games today?
Yes, marry, are there, and such as you never saw. The Duke himself will be in person there.
What pastimes are they?
Wrestling and running.
Yeah.
There's a pretty fellow.
Oh, will it not go along?
Not yet, sir.
Well, sir, take your own time. Come, boys! Come!
This is an offered opportunity I durst not wish for.
Well, I could have wrestled. The best men called it excellent. And run, nor swifter than wind upon a field of corn, curling the wealthy ears never flew. I'll venture, and in some poor disguise be there. Who knows whether my brows may not be girt with garlands, and happiness prefer me to a place where I may ever dwell in sight of her.
Why should I love this gentleman? 'Tis odds, he never will affect me. I am base. My father the mean keeper of his prison, and he a prince. To marry him is hopeless. To be his whore is witless. Out upon't. What pushes are we wenches driven to when 15 once has found us? Now first, I saw him. I, seeing, thought he was a goodly man. He has as much to please a woman in him, if he pleased to bestow it so, as ever these eyes yet looked on. Yet next, I pitied him. And so would any young wench of my conscience that ever dreamed or vowed her maidenhead to a young handsome man. But then, I loved him. Extremely loved him, infinitely loved him. And yet he had a cousin fair as he too, but in my heart was Palamon. And there, Lord, what a coil he keeps. To hear him sing in an evening, what a heaven it is. And yet his songs are sad ones. Fairer spoken was never gentleman. When I come in to bring him water in the morning, first he bows his noble body, then salutes me thus. Fair gentle maid, good morrow. May thy goodness get thee a happy husband. Once he kissed me, I loved my lips the better 10 days after. Would he would do so every day. He grieves much, and me as much to see his misery. What should I do to make him know I love him? For I would fain enjoy him. I mean, say I ventured to set him free. What says the law then? Thus much for law or kindred, I will do it. And this night or tomorrow, he shall love me.
Come, worthy soldier. I have not seen since Hercules a man of tougher sinews. But here you are. You run the best and wrestle that these times can allow.
I'm proud to please you.
What country bred you?
This, but far off, Prince.
Are you a gentleman?
My father said so, and to those gentle uses gave me life.
Are you his heir?
His youngest, sir.
Your father sure is a happy sire, then. What profess you?
A little of all noble qualities. I could have kept a hawk, and well have hallowed to a deep cry of dogs. I dare not praise my feat in horsemanship, yet they that knew me would say it was my best piece. Last and greatest, I would be thought a soldier.
You are perfect.
Upon my soul, a proper man.
He is so.
How do you like him, lady?
I admire him. I have not seen so young a man so noble, if he say true, of his sort.
Believe, his mother was a wondrous handsome woman. His face, methinks, goes that way.
But his body and fiery mind illustrate a brave father.
Mark how his virtue, like a hidden sun, breaks through his baser garments.
He's well got, sure.
What made you seek this place, sir?
Noble Theseus, to purchase name and do my ablest service to such a well-found wonder as thy worth. For only in thy court of all the world dwells fair-eyed honour.
All his words are worthy.
Sir, we are much indebted to your travel, nor shall you lose your wish. Perthus, dispose of this fair gentleman.
Thanks, Theseus. Whate'er you are, you're mine, and I shall give you to a most noble service. To this lady, this bright young virgin, pray observe her goodness. You have honoured her fair birthday with your virtues, and as your due, you're hers. Kiss her fair hand, sir.
Sir, you're a noble giver. Dearest beauty, thus let me seal my vowed faith. When your servant, your most unworthy creature, but offends you, command him die he shall.
That were too cruel. If you deserve well, sir, I shall soon see it. You're mine, and somewhat better than your rank, I'll use you.
I'll see you furnished, and because you say you are a horseman, I must needs entreat you this afternoon to ride. But 'tis a rough one.
I like him better, Prince. I shall not then freeze in my saddle.
Tomorrow by the sun, we do observance to flowery May in Dian's wood. Wait well, sir, upon your mistress, Emily. I hope he shall not go afoot.
That were a shame, sir, while I have horses. Take your choice in what you want at any time, let me but know it. If you serve faithfully, I dare assure you you'll find a loving mistress.
If I do not, let me find disgrace and blows.
Go! Lead the way! You have won it. It shall be so. You shall receive all dues fit for the honor you have won. For wrong else.
Sister, beshrew my heart, you have a servant that if I were a woman, would be master. But you are wise.
I hope too wise for that, sir.
Let all the dukes and all the devils roar! He is at liberty! I have ventured for him, and out I have brought him to a little wood. A mile hence I've sent him, where a cedar higher than all the rest spreads like a plain fast by a brook. And there he shall keep close, till I provide him food and files, for yet his iron bracelets are not off. Oh, love, what a stout-hearted child thou art. My father durst better have endured cold iron than done it. I love him beyond love, and beyond reason, or wit, or safety. I have made him know it. I care not. I am desperate. If the law find me, and then condemn me for it, some wenches, some honest-hearted maids, will sing my dirge and tell to memory my death was noble, dying almost a martyr. That way he takes, I purpose, is my way too. We're sure he cannot be so unmanly as to leave me here. If he do, maids will not so easily trust men again. And yet he has not thanked me for what I have done, no, not so much as kissed me, and that methinks is not so well. Nor scarcely could I persuade him to become a free man. He made such scruples of the wrong he did to me and to my father. Yet I hope when he considers more, this love of mine will take more root within him. Let him do what he will with me. So he use me kindly, for use me so he shall. Or I'll proclaim him, and to his face no man. I'll presently provide him necessaries and pack my clothes up, and where there is a path of ground I'll venture, so he be with me. By him like a shadow I'll ever dwell. Within this hour the hubbub will be all over the prison. I am then kissing the man they look for. Oh, farewell, father. Get many more such prisoners and such daughters, and shortly you may keep yourself. Now, to him.
Queen Emilia, fresher than May, sweeter than her gold buttons on the boughs, or all the enamelled knacks of the mead or garden, jewel of the wood, of the world. Tell me, O Lady Fortune, next after Emily, my sovereign, how far I may be proud. She takes strong note of me, hath made me near her, and this beauteous morn, the primest of all the year, presents me with a brace of horses. 2 such steeds might well be by a pair of kings back, in a field that their crown's titles tried. Alas, alas, poor cousin Palamon, poor prisoner, thou so little dream'st upon my fortune that thou think'st thyself the happier thing, to be so near Emilia. Me thou deem'st at Thebes, and therein wretched, although free. But if thou knewest my mistress breathed on me, and that I eared her language, lived in her eye, oh, coz, what passion would enclose thee?
Traitor, kinsman! Thou shouldst perceive my passion if these signs of imprisonment were off me in this hand, but owner of a sword. O thou most perfidious that ever gently looked! Falsest cousin that ever blood made kin, call'st thou her thine? I'll prove it in my shackles with these hands, void of appointment, that thou liest, and art a very thief in love. A chaffy lord, not worth the name of villain. Had I a sword and these house clogs away!
Dear cousin Palamon!
Cousin Arcite! Give me language such as thou hast showed me feet.
'Tis your passion that thus mistakes, the which, to you being enemy, cannot to me be kind. Honour and honesty I cherish and depend on, howsoe'er you skip them in me, and with them, fair coz, I'll maintain my proceedings. Pray, be pleased to show in generous terms your griefs, since that your questions with your equal, who professes to clear his own way with the mind and sword of a true gentleman.
Thou durst, Arcite! Quit me of these cold gyves. Give me a sword, though it be rusty, and the charity of one meal lend me. Come before me then, a good sword in thy hand, and do but say that Emily is thine. I will forgive the trespass thou hast done me, yea, my life if then thou carry it, and brave souls in shades that have died manly, which will seek of me some news from earth. They shall get none but this, that thou art brave and noble.
Be content. Again betake you to your hawthorn house. With counsel of the night I will be here with wholesome viands. These impediments will I file off. You shall have garments and perfumes to kill the smell of the prison. After, when you shall stretch yourself and say, but Arcite, I am in plight, there shall be at your choice both sword and armour.
O you heavens, does any so nobly bear a guilty business? None, but only Arcite, therefore none but Arcite. In this kind is so bold.
You hear the horns. Enter your musset, lest this match between us be crossed ere met. Give me your hand. Farewell. I'll bring you every needful thing. I pray you, take comfort and be strong.
Pray hold your promise, and do the deed with a bent brow. Most certain you love me not. Be rough with me, and pour this oil out of your language.
Plainly spoken, yet pardon me hard language. When I spur my horse, I chide him not. Content and anger in me have but one face. Hark, sir, they call the scattered to the banquet. You must guess I have an office there.
Sir, your attendance cannot please heaven, and I know your office unjustly is achieved.
'Tis a good title. I am persuaded this question sick between us by bleeding must be cured. Do your sword bequeath this plea, and talk of it no more.
You are gazing now to gaze upon my mistress, for note you, mine she is.
Nay then.
Nay, pray you! You talk of feeding me to breed me strength. You are going now to look upon a son that strengthens what it looks on. There you have a vantage o'er me. But enjoy it till I may enforce my remedy. Farewell!
He has mistook the break I meant, is gone after his fancy. 'Tis now well nigh morning. No matter, would it were perpetual night and darkness lord o'er the world. Hark! 'Tis a wolf! In me hath grief slain fear, and but for one thing I care for nothing, and that's Palamon. I reck not if the wolves would jaw me so he had this file. If I whooped, what then? If he not answered, I should call a wolf and do him but that service. I have heard strange howls this livelong night. Why mayn't not be they have made prey of him? He has no weapons, he cannot run. The jingling of his gyves might call fell things to listen, who have in them a sense to know a man unarmed and can smell where resistance is. I'll set it down, he's torn to pieces. They howled many together, and then they fed on him so much for that. Be bold to ring the bell. How stand I then? All's charred when he is gone. No, I lie. My father's to be hanged for his escape. Myself to beg if I prized life so much as to deny my act, but that I would not, should I try death by dozens. I am mote. Food took I none these 2 days. Sip some water, not close mine eyes, save when my lids scoured off their brine. Alas, dissolve my life. Let not my sense unsettle, lest I should drown, or stab, or hang myself. Oh, state of nature, fail together in me, since thy best props are warped. Oh, so which way now? The best way is the next way to a grave. Each errant step beside is torment. Lo, the moon is down, the crickets chirp, the screech owl calls in the dawn. All offices are done, save what I fail in, but the point is this, an end, and that is all.
Ho! Cousin Palamon!
Arcite?
The same. I have brought you food and files. Come forth and fear not. Here's no Theseus.
Nor none so honest, Arcite.
That's no matter. We'll argue that hereafter. Come, take courage. You shall not die thus beastly. Here, sir, drink. I know you are faint. Then I'll talk further with you.
Arcite, thou mightst now poison me.
I might, but I must fear you first. Sit down, and good now, no more of these vain parleys. Let us not, having our ancient reputation with us, make talk for fools and cowards. To your health.
Well, sir, I'll pledge you.
Drink a good hearty draught. It breeds good blood, man. Do you not feel it for you?
Stay. I'll tell you after a draught or two more.
Spare it not. The Duke has more, cuz. Eat now.
Yes.
Is it not mad lodging here in the wild woods, cousin?
Yes, for them that have wild consciences.
I'll taste your victuals. Your hunger needs no sauce, I see.
Not much. But if it did, yours is too tart, sweet cousin. What's this?
Venison.
'Tis a lusty meat. Give me more wine. Here, Arcite, to the wenches we have known in our days. The Lord Steward's daughter. Do you remember her?
After you, cuz.
She loved a black-haired man.
She did so. Well, sir?
And I've heard some call him Arcite, and...
Out with it, Faith.
She met him in an arbour. What did she there, cuz? Play the virginals?
Something she did, sir.
Made her groan a month for it? Or 2, or 3, or 10?
The Marshal's sister had her share too, as I remember, cousin. Else there be tales abroad. You'll pledge her?
Yes.
A pretty brown wench 'tis. There was a time when young men went a-hunting, and the wood, and the broad beach, and thereby hangs a tale. Hey-ho.
For Emily. Upon my life, fool! Away with the strained mirth, I say again. That sigh was breathed for Emily. Base cousin! Darest thou break first?
You are wise.
By heaven and earth, there is nothing in thee honest.
Then I'll leave you. You are a beast now.
As thou makest me, traitor.
There's all things needful. Files and shirts and perfumes. I'll come again some 2 hours hence and bring that shall quiet all.
A sword and armour.
Fear me not. You are now too foul. Farewell. Get off your trinkets. You shall want naught.
Sarah!
I'll hear no more.
If he keep touch, he dies for it.
We're very cold. And all the stars are out too. The little stars and all. That are like aglets. Oh, the sun has seen my folly. Palamon! Alas, no, he's in heaven. Where am I now? Yonder's the sea, and there's a ship. How it tumbles! And there's a rock lies watching underwater. Now, it beats upon it. Now. There's a leak sprung, a sound one. How they cry! Open her before the wind! You'll lose all else. Out with a course or two and tuck about, boys. Good night. Good night. You're gone. I am very hungry. Would I could find a fine frog. He would tell me news from all parts of the world. Then would I make a carrack of a cockle shell and sail by east and northeast to the king of pygmies, for he tells fortunes rarely. Now my father, 20 to 1, is trussed up in a trice tomorrow morning. I'll say never a word. For I'll cut my green coat a foot above my knee, and I'll clip my yellow locks an inch below mine eye. Hey, nonny, nonny, nonny. He's buying me a white coat, forth for to ride, and I'll go seek him through the world that is so wide. Hey, nonny, nonny, nonny. Oh, for a prick now, like a nightingale to put my breast against, I shall sleep like a top else.
insanity and disinsanity is here among you. Have my rudiments been laboured so long with you, milked unto you, and by a figure, even the very plum broth and marrow of my understanding laid upon you? And do you still cry, where, and ow, and wherefore? You most coarse freeze capacities, Eugene judgments. Have I said, thus let be, and there let be, and then let be, and no man understand me? Prodeum medius vidius, you are all dunces. Oh! For why? Here stand I. Here the Duke comes, there are you, close in the thicket. The Duke appears, I meet him, and unto him I utter learned things, and many figures. He hears, and nods, and hums, and then cries, rare! And I go forward. At length I fling my cap up, mark there, then do you. As once did Meleager and the boar, break comely out before him. Like true lovers, cast yourselves in a body decently, and sweetly by a figure trace and turn, boys.
And sweetly we will do it, Mistress Joan.
Oh, where be your ribbons, maids? Swim with your bodies, and carry it sweetly and deliverly. And now and then, a favour and a frisk.
Oh, let us alone, mistress.
Where's the rest of the music?
Dispersed as you commanded.
Couple then, and see what's wanting. Quo esque tandem, here's a woman wanting.
Well, we may go whistle, all the fat's in the fire.
We have, as learned authors utter, washed a tile. We have been fatuous and laboured vainly. Our business has become a nullity, yea, and a woeful and piteous nullity.
Hang on. Brave the lands of war by 1, by 2, by 3. Well hailed, you jolly land. And whither now are you bound?
There's a dainty mad woman, mistress, comes in the neck. It's as mad as a March hare. If we can get a dance, we're made again. I wanted to do the rarest gambles.
Mad woman, we're made, boys.
And are you mad, good woman?
I would be sorry else. Oh, give me your hand.
Why?
I can tell your fortune. Oh, you are a fool.
Oh.
Tell 10, I have posed to both friends. You must eat no white bread. If you do, your teeth will bleed extremely. Shall we dance, huh? I know you. Mistress Tinker!
Die I bony, a tinker, damsel!
Or a conjurer? Raise me a devil now, and let him play. Qui passe the bells and bones.
Go, take her, and fluently persuade her to a peace. Strike up, and lead her in!
Good lass, let's strip it.
And lead!
Go!
Persuasively and cunningly! Away, boys! I hear the horns! Give me some meditation, and mark your cue! Pallas, inspire me!
This way the stag took.
What have we here? Some country sport upon my life, sir.
Well, sir, go forward. Ladies, sit down. We'll stay it.
Now, doughty Duke, all hail! All hail, sweet ladies!
This is a cold beginning.
If you but favour, our country pastime made is. We are a few of those collected here, that ruder tongues distinguish villager. And to say verity and not to fable, we are a merry rout, or else a rabble, or company, or by a figure chorus, that for thy dignity will dance a morris. And I that am the rectifier of all, by title pedagogus, that let fall the birch upon the breeches of the small ones, and humble with a ferula the tall ones.
do here present this machine, or this frame, and dainty Duke, whose doughty dismal fame, from Dis to Daedalus, from post to pillar, is blown abroad. Help me, thy poor well-willer. And with thy twinkling eyes look right and straight upon this mighty moor of mickle weight. Is now comes in, which being glued together, makes Morris and the cause that we came hither.
How does my sweetheart?
Never so pleased, sir.
'Tis an excellent stance, and for a preface I never heard a better.
Good teacher, I thank you.
See them all rewarded.
Here's something to paint your pole withal.
Now to our sports again.
May the stag thou huntest stand long, and the dogs be swift and strong. May they kill him without lets, and the ladies eat his dour sets.
About this hour, my cousin gave his faith to visit me again, and with him bring 2 swords and 2 good armours. If he fail, he's neither man nor soldier. When he left me, I did not think a week could have restored my lost strength to me. I was grown so low and crestfallen with my wants. I thank thee, Arcite, thou art yet a fair foe. And I feel myself with this refreshing able once again to outdure danger. To delay it longer would make the world think when it comes to hearing that I lay fatting like a swine to fight, and not a soldier. Therefore, this blessed morning shall be the last, and that sword he refuses, if it but hold, I kill him with. 'Tis justice. So, love and fortune for me. Oh, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, noble kinsman.
I have put you to too much pains, sir.
That too much, fair cousin, is but a debt to honour and my duty.
Would you were so in all, sir. I could wish you as kind a kinsman as you force me find a beneficial foe. That my embraces might thank you, not my blows.
I shall think either well done and noble recompense.
Then I shall quit you, sir.
No more anger, as you love anything that's honourable. We were not bred to talk, man. When we are armed and both upon our guards, then let our fury, like meeting of 2 tides, fly strongly from us. And then to whom the birthright of this beauty truly pertains, without upbraidings, scorns, despisings of our persons, and such poutings fit for girls and schoolboys, will be seen and quickly, yours or mine. Will't please you arm, sir?
Arcite, thou art so brave an enemy that no man but thy cousin's fit to kill thee. I am well and lusty. Choose your arms.
Choose you, sir.
Wilt thou exceed in all, or dost thou do it to make me spare thee?
If you think so, cousin, you are deceived. For as I am a soldier, I will not spare you.
I warrant thee. I'll strike home.
Do, and spare not. I'll give you cause, sweet cousin.
Now to you, sir. Methinks this arm is very like that, Arcite. Thou warst that day the 3 kings fell, but lighter.
That was a very good one. And that day I well remember you outdid me, cousin. I never saw such valour. Now, I am perfect.
Stand off, then.
Take my sword. I hold it better.
I thank you, no. Keep it. Your life lies on it. Here's one. Ooh, if it but hold, I ask no more for all my hopes. My cause and honour guard me.
And me, my love. Is there aught else to say?
This only, and no more. Thou art mine aunt's son, and that blood we desire to shed is mutual. In me thine, and in thee mine. My sword is in my hand, and if thou kill'st me, the gods and I forgive thee. If there be a place prepared for those that sleep in honour, I wish his weary soul that falls may win it. Fight bravely, cousin. Give me thy noble hand.
Here, Palamon. This hand shall never more come near thee with such friendship.
I commend thee.
If I fall, curse me, and say I was a coward, for none but such dare die in these just trials. Once more, farewell, my cousin.
Farewell, Arcite.
Lo, cousin! Lo, our folly has undone us!
Why?
This is the Duke a-hunting, as I told you. If we be found, we are wretched. Oh, retire for honour's sake, and safely presently into your bush again. Sir, we shall find too many hours to die in. Gentle cousin, if you be seen, you perish instantly for breaking prison, and I, if you reveal me, for my contempt. Then all the world will scorn us, and say we had a noble difference, but base disposers of it.
No. No, cousin, I will no more be hidden or put off this great adventure to a second trial. I know your cunning, and I know your cause. He that faints now, shame take him! Put thyself upon thy present guard.
You are not mad?
Or I will make the vantage of this hour mine own. And what to come shall threaten me, I fear less than my fortune. No, weak cousin, I love Emilia, and in that I'll bury thee and all crosses else.
Then come what can come. Thou shalt know, Palamon, I dare as well die as discourse or sleep. Only this fears me. The law will have the honour of our ends. Have it thy life.
Look to thine own well, Arcite.
Ignorant and mad, malicious traitors are you! Against the tenor of my laws are making battle? That's like knights appointed without my leave and officers of arms? By Castor, both shall die.
Hold thy word, Theseus. We are certainly both traitors, both despisers of thee and of thy goodness. I am Palamon, that cannot love thee, he that broke thy prison. Think well what that deserves. And this is Arcite. A bolder traitor never trod thy ground, a falser ne'er seemed friend. This is the man was begged and banished. This is he contemns thee and what thou durst do, and in this disguise against thine own edict follows thy sister. That fortunate bright star, the fair Emilia, whose servant, if there be a right in seeing and first bequeathing of the soul to, justly I am. And which is more, dares think her his. This treachery, like a most trusty lover, I called him now to answer. If thou beest, as thou art spoken, great and virtuous, the true decider of all injuries, say, fight again! And thou shalt see me, Theseus, do such a justice thou thyself wilt envy. Then take my life. I'll woo thee to it.
Oh, heaven. What more than man is this?
I have sworn.
We seek not thy breath of mercy, Theseus. 'Tis to me a thing as soon to die as thee to say it, and no more moved. Where this man calls me traitor, let me say thus much. If in love be treason, in service of so excellent a beauty as I love most, and in that faith will perish, as I have brought my life here to confirm it, as I have served her truest, worthiest, as I dare kill this cousin that denies it, so let me be most traitor, and you please me. For scorning thy edict, Duke, ask that lady why she is fair, and why her eyes command me, stay here to love her, and if she say traitor, I am a villain fit to lie unburied.
Thou shalt have pity of us both, O Theseus, if unto neither thou show mercy. Stop, as thou art just, thy noble ear against us, as thou art valiant for thy cousin's soul, whose 12 strong labours crown his memory. Let's die together at one instant, Duke. Only a little let him fall before me, that I may tell my soul he shall not have her.
What more than man is this?
I grant your wish. For to say true, your cousin has 10 times more offended. For I gave him more mercy than you found, sir, your offences being no more than his. None here speak for him, for ere the sun set, both shall sleep forever.
Alas, the pity. Now or never, sister, speak not to be denied. That face of yours will bear the curses else of after ages for these lost cousins.
In my face, dear sister, I find no anger to him, nor no ruin. The misadventure of their own eyes kill him. Yet that I will be woman and have pity, my knee shall grow to the ground, but I'll get mercy. Help me, dear sister, in a deed so virtuous the powers of all women will be with us. Most royal brother.
Sir, by our tie of marriage.
By your own spotless honour.
By that faith, that fair hand, and that honest heart you gave me.
By your own virtues, infinite.
By valour, and by all the chaste knights I have ever pleased you.
These are strange conjurings.
Nay, then I'll in too. By all our friendships, sir, by all our dangers, by all you love most, wars and this sweet lady.
By your own eyes, by strength, in which you swore I went beyond all women, almost all men, and yet I yielded. Theseus...
To crown all this by your most noble soul, which cannot want due mercy, I beg first...
Next hear my prayers.
Last, let me entreat, sir.
For mercy.
Mercy.
Mercy on these princes.
You make my faith reel. Say I felt compassion to them both. How would you place it?
Upon their lives, but with their banishments.
You are a right woman, sister. You have pity, but want the understanding where to use it. If you desire their lives, invent a way safer than banishment. Can these two live and have the agony of love about them and not kill one another? Every day they'd fight about you. Hourly bring your honor in public question with their swords. Be wise then. And here forget them. I have said they die. Better they fall by the law than one another. Bow, not my honor.
Oh, my noble brother, that oath was rashly made, and in your anger your reason will not hold it. If such vows stand for express will, all the world must perish. Besides, I have another oath against yours, of more authority, I am sure more love, not made in passion, neither, but good heed.
What is it, sister?
Urge it home, brave lady.
Shall anything that loves me perish for me? That were a cruel wisdom. Do men prune the straight young boughs that blush with thousand blossoms because they may be rotten? O Duke Theseus, the goodly mothers that have groaned for these, and all the longing maids that ever loved, if your vow stand, shall curse me and my beauty, and in their funeral songs for these two cousins despise my cruelty, and cry woe worth me till I am nothing but a scorn of woman. For heaven's sake, save their lives, and banish them.
On what conditions?
Swear them nevermore to make me their contention, or to know me, to tread upon thy dukedom, and to be, wherever they shall travel, ever strangers to one another.
I'll be cut to pieces before I take this oath. Forget I love her. Oh, all you gods despise me then! Thy banishment I not mislike, so we may fairly carry our swords and cause along. Else never trifle, but take our lives, Duke. I must love and will, and for that love must and dare kill this cousin on any peace the earth has.
Will you, Arcite, take these conditions?
He is a villain, then.
No, never, Duke. 'Tis worse to me than begging to take my life so basely. Though I think I never shall enjoy her, yet I'll preserve the honour of affection and die for her.
What may be done? For now I feel compassion.
Let it not fall again, sir.
Say, Emilia, if one of them were dead, as one must, are you content to take the other to your husband? They cannot both enjoy you. They are princes as goodly as your own eyes, and as noble as ever fame yet spoke of. Look upon them. And if you can, love, end this difference. I give consent. Are you content, too, princes?
With all our hearts.
He that refuses must die, then.
Any death thou canst invent, Duke.
Make choice, then.
I cannot, sir. They are both too excellent.
What will become of them?
Thus I ordain it. And by mine honour, once again it stands, or both shall die. You shall both to your country, and each within this month, accompanied with 3 fair knights, appear again in this place, in which I'll plant a pyramid, and whether before us that are here can force his cousin by fair and knightly strength to touch the pillar, he shall enjoy her. The other lose his head and all his friends. Nor shall he grudge to fall, nor think he dies with interest in this lady. Will this content you?
Yes. There, cousin Arcite. I am friends again till that hour.
I embrace you.
Are you content, sister?
Yes, I must, sir, else both miscarry.
Come, as you are gentlemen, this quarrel sleep till the hour prefixed, and hold your course. When you return, who wins I'll settle here. Who loses, yet I'll weep upon his bier.
Heard you no more? What was nothing said of me concerning the escape of Palamon?
Be of good comfort, man. I bring you news, good news.
They're welcome.
Palamon has cleared you and got your pardon, and discovered how and by whose means he escaped, which was your daughter's, whose pardon is procured too, and the prisoner, not to be held ungrateful to her goodness, has given a sum of money to her marriage, a large one, I'll assure you.
You're a good man, and ever bring good news. How was it ended?
As it should be. The prisoners have their lives. But there be new conditions which you'll hear of at better time.
I hope they're good.
They are honourable. How good they'll prove, I know not.
Alas, sir, where's your daughter?
Why do you ask?
Oh, sir, when did you see her?
This morning.
But was she well? Was she in health? Sir, when did she sleep?
These are strange questions.
I do not think she was very well, for now you make me mind her. But this very day I asked her questions, and she answered me so far from what she was, so childishly, so sillily, as if she were a fool, an innocent. Oh, but I was very angry. But what of her, sir?
Nothing but my pity. But you must know it, and as good by me as another that less loves her.
Well, sir?
Not well.
No, sir, not well. 'Tis too true. She is mad.
It cannot be.
Oh, I half suspected what you have told me. The gods comfort her. Either this was her love to Palamon, or fear of my miscarrying on escape. Or both.
'Tis likely.
But why all this haste, sir?
I'll tell you quickly. As I late was angling in the great lake that lies behind the palace, thick set with reeds and sedges, I heard a voice, a shrill one, and, attentive, I gave my ear, when I might well perceive 'twas one that sung, and by the smallness of it, a boy or a woman. I then left my angle to his own skill, came near, but yet perceived not who made the sound. The rushes and the reeds had so encompassed it. I laid me down and listened to the words she sung, for then, through a small glade cut by the fishermen, I saw it was your daughter.
Pray, go on, sir.
She sung much, but no sense. Only I heard her repeat this often. Palamon is gone to the wood to gather mulberries. I'll find him out tomorrow. His shackles will betray him, he'll be taken, and what shall I do then? I'll bring a bevy, 100 black-eyed maids that love as I do, with chaplets on their heads of daffodillies, with cherry lips and cheeks of damask roses, and all will dance an antic for the Duke and beg his pardon. Then she talked of you, sir. That you must lose your head tomorrow morning, and she must gather flowers to bury you and see the house made handsome. Then she sung nothing but willow, 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 and between ever was Palamon, fair Palamon, and Palamon was a tall young man. The place was knee-deep where she sat. Her careless tresses a wreath of bulrush rounded, about her stuck 1,000 freshwater flowers of several colours, that methought she appeared like the fair nymph that feeds the lake with waters, or as Iris newly dropped from heaven.
Alas for pity.
Oh, she saw me, and straight sought the flood. I saved her, and set her safe to land, when presently she slipped away into the city maid with such a cry and swiftness that, believe me, she left me far behind her. 3 or 4 I saw from far off cross her. One of them I knew to be your brother, where she stayed and fell, scarce to be got away. I left them with her, and hither came to tell you, oh, here they are.
Oh. Is this not a fine song?
Oh, a very fine one.
Oh, I can sing 20 more.
Oh, you think you can?
Yes! Truly can I. Oh. Are you not a tailor? Where's my wedding gown?
I'll bring it tomorrow.
Do. Very early. I must be abroad, else to call the maids and pay the minstrels, for I must lose my maidenhead by cocklight. 'Twill never thrive else.
You must e'en take it patiently.
'Tis true.
Pretty and good man. Pray, did you ever hear of one young Palamon?
Yes, wench, we know him.
Not a fine young gentleman.
Oh, 'tis love. By no means crosser. She is then distempered far worse than now she shows.
Yes, he's a fine man.
Oh, is he so? You have a sister?
Yes.
But she shall never have him. Tell her so. For a trick that I know, you'd best look to her, for if she see him once, she's gone, she's done and undone in an hour. All the young maids of our town are in love with him, but I laugh at them and let them all alone. It's not a wise course?
Yes.
There's at least 200 now with child by him. There must be 4, yet I keep close for all this. Close as a cockle. And all these must be boys he has the trick on't. And at 10 years old, they must be all geldful musicians and sing the wars of Theseus.
This is strange.
As ever you heard, but say nothing.
No.
They come from all parts of the dukedom to him, I'll warrant you. He had not so few last night as 20 to dispatch. He'll tickle it up in 2 hours if his hand be in.
She's lost past all cure.
Heaven forbid, man.
come hither. You are master of a ship.
Yes?
Where's your compass?
Here?
Set it to the north. And now direct your course to the woods where Palamon lies longing for me. For the tackling, let me alone. Come, weigh my hearts cheerily.
Pull. 'Tis up. The wind's fair.
Up the bowline.
Out with the mainsail.
Where's your whistle, master?
Let's get her in.
Up to the top, boy.
There's the pilot. Here.
There for it, master. Tack about.
Yet I may bind those wounds up that must open and bleed to death for my sake else. I'll choose and end their strife. Two such young handsome men shall never fall for me. Their weeping mothers following the dead cold ashes of their sons shall never curse my cruelty. Good heaven. What a sweet face has Arcite. If wise nature with all her best endowments, all those beauties she sows into the births of noble bodies were here, a mortal woman, and had in her the coy denials of young maids, yet doubtless she would run mad for this man. What an eye, what a fiery sparkle and quick sweetness has this young prince. Here love himself sits smiling. I ask thy pardon. Palamon, thou art alone and only beautiful. And these the eyes, these the bright lamps of beauty that command and threaten love. And what young maid dare cross them? What a bold gravity and yet inviting is this brown manly face. Oh, love, this only from this hour is complexion. I am sotted, utterly lost. My virgin's faith has fled me. For if my brother but even now had asked me whether I loved, I had run mad for Arcite. Now if my sister, more for Palamon. Alas, I know not. What a mere child is fancy, that having two fair gourds of equal sweetness cannot distinguish but must cry for both. What sins have I committed, chaste Diana, that my unspotted youth must now be soiled with blood of princes, and my chastity be made the altar where the lives of lovers, two greater and two better never yet made mother's joy, must be the sacrifice to my unhappy beauty.
Her distraction is more at some time of the moon than at other some, is it not?
She's continually in a harmless distemper, Doctor. Sleeps little, altogether without appetite. So often drinking, dreaming of another world and a better. And what broken piece of matter soe'er she's about, the name Palamon lards it. That she farces every business withal, fits it to every question.
Done. Penned by no worse woman than Jane, Amelia's schoolmistress.
When she comes, you shall perceive her behaviour.
He's as fantastical too as ever he may go upon the legs, but in the next world will Dido see Palamon, and then she will be out of love with Aeneas.
Oh, what stuff's here, poor soul. Even us, all day long.
Now for this charm that I told you of, you must bring a piece of silver on the tip of your tongue, or no ferry. Then if it be your chance to come where the blessed spirits are, there's a sight now. We maids that have our livers perished, cracked to pieces with love, we shall come there and do nothing all day long but pick flowers with Proserpine. Then will I make Palamon a nosegay, then let him mark me then. How prettily she's in this.
Know her a little further.
Faith, I'll tell you, sometimes we go to barley break, we of the blessed. Alas, 'tis a sore life they have in the other place. Such burning, frying, boiling, hissing, howling, chattering, cursing. Oh. They have shrewd measure, take heed. If one be mad, or hang, or drown themselves, thither they go. Jupiter bless us, and there shall we be put in a cauldron of lead and usurer's grease amongst a whole million of cut purses, and there boil like a gammon of bacon that will never be enough.
How her brains coy.
Lords and courtiers that have got maids with child, they are in this place. It is standing fire up to the navel and in ice up to the heart, and there the offending part burns and the deceiving part freezes.
Oh, 'tis a most thick and profound melancholy.
Oh, what think you of her, madam?
I think she has a perturbed mind which I cannot minister to.
Oh, alas, what then?
Understand you she ever affected any man ere she beheld Palamon?
Oh, I was once in great hope she'd fixed her liking on this gentleman, my friend.
I did think so too, and would account I had a great penithant to give half my state that both she and I at this present stood unfeignedly on the same terms.
That intemperate surfeit of her eye hath distempered the other senses. They may return and settle again to execute their preordained faculties, but they are now in a most extravagant vagary. This you must do. Take upon you, young sir, the name of Palamon.
Wow.
Say you come to eat with her and to commune of love. This will catch her attention, for this her mind beats upon. Sing to her such green songs of love as she says Palamon hath sung in prison. Come to her stuck in as sweet flowers as the season is mistress of, and thereto make an addition of some other compounded odours which are grateful to the sense. All this shall become Palamon, for Palamon can sing, and Palamon is sweet and every good thing. Desire to eat with her, carve her, drink to her, and still among intermingle your petition of grace and acceptance into her favour. It is a falsehood she is in, which is with falsehoods to be combated. I will between the passages of this project come in with my appliance. Let us put it in execution and hasten the success, which doubt not will bring forth comfort.
Now let them enter, and before the gods tender their holy prayers. Let the temples burn bright with sacred fires, and the altars in hallowed clouds commend their swelling incense to those above us.
Sir, they enter.
You valiant and strong-hearted enemies, you royal German foes, that this day come to blow that nearness out that flames between you. Lay by your anger for an hour, and dove-like, before the holy altars of your helpers, the all-feared gods, bow down your stubborn bodies. Your ire is more than mortal, so your help be. And as the gods regard you, fight with justice. I'll leave you to your prayers, and betwixt you I part my wishes.
Honour crown the worthiest.
The glass is running now that cannot finish till one of us expire.
I am in labour to push your name, your ancient love, our kindred out of my memory, and in the selfsame place to seat something I would confound. So hoist we the sails that must these vessels port, even where the heavenly limiter pleases.
You speak well. Before I turn, let me embrace thee, cousin. This I shall never do again.
One farewell.
Why, let it be so. Farewell, gods.
Farewell, sir. Thou mighty Mars, that with thy power hast turned green Neptune into purple, whose approach comets pre-warn, whose havoc in vast field unearthed skulls proclaim, whose breath blows down the teeming Ceres' foison, who does pluck with hand armipotent from forth blue clouds the mason turrets, that both makest and breakst the stony girths of cities. Me, thy pupil, youngest follower of thy drum, instruct this day with military skill, that to thy lord I may advance my streamer, and by thee be styled the lord of the day. Give me, great Mars, some token of thy pleasure. Oh, great corrector of enormous times, shaker of o'erranked states, thou grand decider of dusty and old titles, that healst with blood the earth when it is sick, and curest the world of the pleurisy of people, I do take thy signs auspiciously, and in thy name to my design march boldly.
Hail, Venus, Queen of Secrets, who hast power to call the fiercest tyrant from his rage and weep unto a girl, that hast the might, even with an eye-glance, to choke Mars's drum and turn the larm to whispers, that canst make a cripple flourish with his crutch and cure him before Apollo, that mayest force the king to be his subject's vassal and induce stale gravity to dance. Take to thy grace me, thy vowed soldier, who do bear thy yoke as 'twere a wreath of roses, yet is heavier than lead itself, stings more than nettles. I vow that lover never yet made sigh truer than I. Oh, then, most soft, sweet goddess, give me the victory of this question, which is true love's merit, and bless me with a sign of thy great pleasure. O thou that from 11 to 90 reign'st in mortal bosoms, whose chase is this world, and we in herds thy game, I give thee thanks for this fair token, which being laid unto mine innocent true heart, arms in assurance my body to this business. Time comes on.
O sacred, shadowy, cold, and constant queen, abandoner of revels, mute contemplative, sweet, solitary, white as chaste and pure as wind-fanned snow, who to thy female knights allow'st no more blood than will make a blush, which is their order's robe, I here, thy priest, am humbled for thine altar. O vouchsafe with that thy rare green eye, which never yet beheld thing maculate, look on thy virgin and sacred silver mistress. Lend thine ear, which ne'er heard scurral term, into whose port ne'er entered wanton sound, to my petition seasoned with holy fear. This is my last of vestal office. I am bride habited, but maiden hearted. A husband I have pointed, but do not know him. Out of two I should choose one, and pray for his success, but I am guiltless of election. Of mine eyes, were I to lose one, they are equal precious. I could doom neither. That which perished should go to unsentenced. Therefore, most modest queen, he of the two pretenders that best loves me and has the truest title in't, let him take off my wheaten garland. Or else grant the file and quality I hold, I may continue in thy band.
Has this advice I told you done any good upon her?
Oh, very much, Doctor. The maids that kept her company have half persuaded her that I am Palamon. Within this half hour she came smiling to me and asked me what I would eat. And when I would kiss her, I told her presently, and kissed her twice.
'Twas well done. 20 times had been far better, for there the cure lies mainly.
Then she told me she would watch with me tonight, for well she knew what hour my fit would take me.
Let her do so, and when your fit comes, fit her home, and presently.
She would have me sing.
You did so?
No.
'Twas very ill done then. You should observe her every way.
Alas, I have no voice, madam, to confirm her that way.
That's all one if you make a noise. If she entreat you again, do anything. Lie with her if she ask you.
Whoa there, Doctor.
Yes, in the way of cure.
But first, by your leave, in the way of honesty.
Cure her first this way, then, if she will be honest, she has the path before her. Pray bring her in and let's see how she is.
I will. And tell her Palamon stays for her. But, Doctor, methinks you're in the wrong still.
Oh, go, you fathers are fine fools. Her honesty, and we should give her physic till we find that.
Why, do you think she is not honest, madam?
How old is she?
She's 18.
She may be, but that's all one. 'Tis nothing to our purpose. Whate'er her father says, if you perceive her mood inclining that way that I spoke of, fidelis et the way of flesh, you have me?
Yes, very well.
Please her appetite, and do it home. It cures her ipso facto the melancholy humour that infects her.
I am of your mind, Doctor.
You'll find it so. She comes, pray humour her.
Come, your love, Palamon stays for you, child. and has done this long hour to visit you.
I thank him for his gentle patience. He's a kind gentleman, and I am much bound to him. Do you now see the horse he gave me?
Yes.
How do you like him?
Oh, he's a very fair one.
You never saw him dance?
No.
Oh, I have often. He dances very finely, very comely. And for a jig, come cut and long tail to him. He turns you like a top.
Oh, that's fine indeed.
He'll dance the Moorish 20 mile an hour, and that will founder the best hobby horse, if I have any skill in all the parish, and gallops to the tune of Light to Love. What think you of this horse?
Having these virtues, I think he might be brought to play at tennis.
Alas, that's nothing.
Can he read and write too?
A very fair hand, and casts himself the accounts of all his hay and provender. That ostler must rise betime that cozens him.
What stuff she utters.
Make curtsy. Here your love comes.
Pretty soul, how do you? That's a fine maid. There's a curtsy.
Yours to command in the way of honesty. How far is it now to the end of the world, my masters?
Why, a day's journey, wench.
Will you go with me?
What shall we do there, wench?
Why, play at stool ball. What else is there to do?
I am content if we shall keep our wedding there.
'Tis true, for there, I will assure you, we shall find some blind priest for the purpose that will venture to marry us. For here they are nice and foolish. Besides, my father must be hanged tomorrow, and that will be a blot in the business. Are not you Palamon?
Do you not know me?
Yes, but you care not for me. I have nothing but this poor petticoat and 2 coarse smocks.
That's all one. I will have you.
Will you, surely?
Yes, by this fair hand will I.
We are to bed then.
E'en when you will.
Oh, sir, you would fain be nibbling.
Oh, well, why do you rub my kiss off?
Just a sweet one will perfume me finely against the wedding. Is not this your cousin, Arcite?
Yes, sweetheart. And I am glad my cousin Palamon has made so fair a choice.
Do you think you'll have me?
Yes, without doubt.
Do you think so too?
Oh, yes.
We shall have many children. Sir Arcite, how you'll grow. My Palamon, I hope, will grow too, finely, now he's at liberty. Alas, poor chicken, he was kept down with hard meat and ill lodging, but I'll kiss him up again.
You must not from her, but still preserve her in this way.
Come, sweet, we'll go to dinner, and then we'll play at cards.
And shall we kiss too?
100 times.
And 20?
Aye, 20.
And then we'll sleep together.
Take her off her.
Yes, marry, will we?
But you shall not hurt me.
I will not, sweet.
If you do, love, I'll cry.
I'll step no further.
Will you lose this sight?
I had rather see a wren hawk at a fly than this decision. Every blow that falls threats a brave life. Each stroke laments the place whereon it falls and sounds more like a bell than blade. I will stay here. It is enough my hearing shall be punished with what shall happen, against the which there is no deafing but to hear. Not taint mine eye with dread sight it may shun.
Sir, my good lord, your sister will no further.
Oh, she must. She shall see deeds of honour in their kind, which sometimes show well penciled. Nature now shall make an act the story, the belief, both sealed with eye and ear. You must be present. You are the victor's meed, the price and garland to crown the question's title.
Pardon me. If I were there, I'd wink.
You must be there. This trial is at war in the night, and you the only star to shine.
I am extinct. There is but envy in that light which shows the one the other.
You must go.
In faith, I will not.
Why, the knights must kindle their valour at your eye. Know of this war, you are the treasure and must needs be by to give the service pay.
So pardon me. The title of a kingdom may be tried out of itself.
Well, well then, at your pleasure. Come, Pirithous.
Farewell, sister. I'm like to know your husband for yourself by some small start of time. He whom the gods do of the two know best, I pray them he be made your lot.
Hark how yon spurs to spirits do incite the princes to their proof. Arcite may win me, and yet may Palamon wound Arcite to the spoiling of his figure. Oh, what pity enough for such a chance. If I were by, I might do hurt, for they would glance their eyes towards my seat, and in that motion might emit a ward, or forfeit an offence which craved that very time. It is much better I am not there. Oh, better never born than minister to such harm. What is the chance?
The cries for Palamon.
Oh, then he is won. Oh, 'twas ever likely. He looked all grace and success, and he is doubtless the primest of men. I prithee run and tell me how it goes. More exalting. Oh, were they metamorphosed both into one? Oh, why there were no woman worth so composed a man. Their single share, their nobleness peculiar to them, gives the prejudice of disparity, values shortness to any lady breathing.
My lady, my lady.
Palamon still?
Nay. Now the sound is Arcite. The cry is Arcite in victory. Hark!
Arcite saw that Arcite was no babe. God's lid, his richness and costliness of spirit looked through him. It could no more be hidden him than fire in flax, than humble banks can go to law with waters that drift winds force to rage. I did think good Palamon would miscarry, yet I knew not why I did think so. Our reasons are not profits when oft our fancies are. Oh, they are coming off. Alas, poor Palamon.
Lo, where our sister is in expectation, yet quaking and unsettled. Fairest Emily, the gods by their divine arbitrament have given you this knight, Arcite. He is a good one as ever struck at the head. Give me your hands. Receive you her, you him. Be plighted with a love that grows as you decay.
Emilia, to buy you I have lost what's dearest to me save what is bought, and yet I purchase cheaply as I do rate your value.
O loved sister, he speaks now of as brave a knight as e'er did spur a noble steed. Surely the gods would have him die a bachelor, lest his race should show in the world too godlike. I have heard two emulous Philomels beat the air o'er the night with their contentious throats, now one the higher, anon the other, then again the first, and by out-breasted that the sense could not be judged between them. So it fared good space between these kinsmen, till heavens did make hardly one the winner. Wear the garland with joy that you have won. For the subdued, give them our present justice, since I know their lives but pinch 'em. Let it here be done. The scene's not for our seeing. Go we hence, right joyful, with some sorrow. Arcite, arm your prize. I know you will not lose her. Hippolyta, I see one eye of yours conceives a tear, the which it will deliver.
Is this winning? Oh, you heavenly powers, where is your mercy? But that your wills have said it must be so. And charge me live to comfort this unfriended, this miserable prince, that cuts away a life more worthy from him than all women. I should and would die too.
Infinite pity, that four such eyes should be so fixed on one, that two must needs be blindfold.
There's many man alive that hath outlived the love of the people. Yea, the self-same state stands many a father with his child. Some comfort we have by so considering. We expire, and not without men's pity. To live still have their good wishes. We prevent the loathsome misery of age, beguile the gout and rheum that in lag hours attend for grey approaches. We come towards the gods young and unwappered, not halting under crimes, many and stale. That sure shall please the gods sooner than such to give us nectar with them, for we are more clear spirits. Aha! My friend. My friend. Your gentle daughter gave me freedom once. You'll see it done now forever. Pray, how does she? I heard she was not well. Her kind of ill gave me some sorrow. By my short life, I am most glad on't. 'Tis the latest thing I shall be glad of. Prithee tell her so. Commend me to her, and to peace her portion, tender her this.
Hold! Hold up! Hold! Hold! Hold!
Hold ho! This is accursed haste you made if you have done so quickly. Noble Palamon, the gods will show their glory in a life that thou art yet to lead.
Can that be when Venus, I have said, is false? How do things fare?
Arise, great sir, and give the tidings ear that are most dearly sweet and bitter.
What hath waked us from our dream?
Lister, your cousin, mounted upon a steed that Emily did first bestow on him, is trotting the flinty pavement, dancing, as 'twere, to the music his own hooves made. What envious flint darted a spark? The hot horse, hot as fire, took toy at this, and fell to what disorder his power could give his will. Bounds, comes on end, forgets school-doing, seeks all foul means of boisterous and rough jadery to deceit his lord that kept it bravely. When naught served, on his hind hoofs on end he stands, that Arcite's legs, being higher than his head, seemed with strange art to hang. His victor's wreath even then fell off his head, and presently backward the jade comes o'er, and his full poise becomes the rider's load. Yet is he living, but such a vessel 'tis that floats but for the surge that next approaches. He much desires to have some speech with you. Lo, he appears.
O miserable end of our alliance! The gods are mighty, Arcite. If thy heart, thy worthy, manly heart be yet unbroken, give me thy last words. I am Palamon, one that yet loves thee dying.
Take Emilia, and with her all the world's joy. Reach thy hand. Farewell. I have told my last hour. I was false, yet never treacherous. Forgive me, cousin. One kiss from fair Emilia. "'Tis done. Take her. I die.
Thy brave soul seek Elysium.
I'll close thine eyes, Prince. Blessed souls be with thee. Thou art a right good man, and while I live, this day I give to tears.
And I to honour.
In this place, first you fought. E'en very here I sundered you. Acknowledge to the gods our thanks that you are living. His part is played, and though it were too short, he did it well. Your day is lengthened, and the blissful dew of heaven does arouse you. The powerful Venus well hath graced her altar, and given you your love. Our master Mars hath vouched his oracle, and to Arcite gave the grace of the contention. So the deities have showed due justice.
O cousin, that we should things desire which do cost us the loss of our desire, that naught could buy dear love but loss of dear love.
Never fortune did play a subtler game. The conquered triumphs, the victor has the loss. Yet in the passage the gods have been most equal. Palamon, your kinsman hath confessed the right of the lady did lie in you. For you first saw her, and even then proclaimed your fancy. He restored her as your stolen jewel, and desired your spirit to send him hence, forgiven. The gods my justice take from my hand, and they themselves become the executioners. A day or two let us look sadly, and give grace unto the funeral of Arcite, in whose end the visages of bridegrooms will put on and smile with Palamon, for whom but 1 hour since, I was as dearly sorry, as glad of Arcite, and am now as glad as for him sorry. O you heavenly charmers, what things you make of us! For what we lack, we laugh. For what we have, are sorry. Still, are children in some kind. Let us be thankful for that which is, and with you, leave dispute that are above our question. Let us go off, and bear us like the time.
In The Two Noble Kinsmen by William Shakespeare and John Fletcher, the jailer's daughter was played by Lindsay Marshall, Emilia, Kate Phillips, Palamon, Blake Ritson, and Arcite by Nikesh Patel. Theseus was Ray Fearon, Hippolyta, Emma Fielding, jailer, Hugh Ross, Pirithous, Daniel Ryan, wooer, Oliver Chris, schoolmistress, Susan Salmon, Nell, Sarah Markland, Doctor, Jane Whittenshaw, Countryman, Sam Dale, Artesius, Carl Prekop, and Valerius was played by Pitt Donaghy. All other parts were played by members of the company. The music was composed and performed by Tom Glenister and sung by Emma Mackey. The Two Noble Kinsmen was adapted for radio by Sarah Davis and directed by Celia de Wolfe. It was a peer production for BBC Radio 3.
This was a